And welcome back, everybody, to Chaos Incarnate. We are here with another matchup review episode, and today is going to be a bit of a, I suppose, medium-length one. I'll try to keep this as concise as I can, though I do know I tend to go on a little bit of a rant sometimes. And I hope you all enjoy. Have yourselves a wonderful day. This is going to be a lot of fun. And the Soldier versus Sarge. Team Fortress 2 versus Red versus Blue. Yeah, that was a lot of verses. Anyway, two American patriotic shooter game characters intent on killing those filthy fucking blues. God bless America. And this is a fun one for pure, absolute comedic gold. Team Fortress 2 and Red vs. Blue are two of the most comedy-themed shooter franchises out there, though technically Red vs. Blue is part of Halo in a way, but you get the point. And the weapon clash here is absolute gold. It's all over the place, because despite being a shooter's game set in the 70s, Team Fortress 2 has some of the most out-there weapons in existence. And yeah, combine that with the wacky bullshit that comes with Halo physics, like being able to flip a warthog, this is going to be a fun fight. Plus, both can rocket jump, so that's even better. Now, the main thing I've seen people question is, how would this work if they both explicitly hate blue? And, well, actually, pretty sure that's a pretty simple answer. Just have Sarge wanting to take the briefcase. That's it. That's all you gotta do. There isn't much motivation for either one of them wanting to kill somebody. And yeah, this is an absolute doozy. And, despite technically being quote-unquote more grounded, Soldier actually has a really strong shot at winning. Not only through more bullshit weapons thanks to game logic, you know, things like the man shreds and stuff like that, but he's also got immortality, courtesy of the comics. Basically, what happened was he took a bottle of if I die, come back stronger pills, so even if Sarge manages to kill him, he's just going to come back resistant or immune to whatever killed him in the first place. So it's just going to be a matter of time before Sarge inevitably runs out of options. Meaning that this battle's winner will inevitably be the Soldier. God bless America. Also a firm 10 out of 10 of an episode, and I'm really hoping this one happens someday. Angel vs. Moby Dick. The Meg vs. Moby Dick by Steve Alton and Herman Melville. Two alabaster leviathans of fiction. And it's an oceanic battle, too. That's all the more fun. This one is an intriguing fight, primarily because for this one to work, you need to... The two of them are primarily from books, and although both have film adaptations, Moby Dick has a good number of them, and Angel only has one that really isn't all that faithful to the source material. I've seen both of the Meg movies, and while the first one was pretty good and the second one was okay, they do depart from the books in a good number of ways. But this fight would be an interesting one on Death Battle because it would bring two brand new franchises to the show and be our first solely animal versus animal fight. Because we've had Ocean versus Ocean with SpongeBob versus Super Friends Aquaman, but this one would be full beasts going at each other. And it would just be a bloodbath. And they're both smarter than they give off. Now, for Moby Dick, you can't take any of his statements literally here, because if you do, there's actually some implication that Moby Dick is apparently God in some way. Whilst for Angel, I believe she's got basically all the same Meg scaling, so this one, I'm pretty sure Moby Dick takes. He's drastically larger, is much smarter, and I don't think Angel's fear induction would work on him. So, yeah, I'm just gonna say I'm pretty sure Moby Dick wins. Also, the soundtrack could be pretty cool, too. I would say it would primarily be orchestral. Like, that's really all I can think of for characters from strictly book franchises like these two. And this might actually have the two fighting over a boat, ironically. But, yeah, I give this one a firm 8 out of 10. I still want Jaws to happen first, so that would be pretty cool. But, yeah, pretty good one. Not my favorite, but pretty good. Sosuke Aizen versus Sephiroth, the Ultimate Planner and the One-Winged Angel, Bleach versus Final Fantasy VII. This would be the penultimate sequel that both are waiting to get on Death Battle, especially with their last episodes. Aizen, by the fandom, was severely downplayed, and Sephiroth hasn't had an episode since Season 4, against Virgil. And this one is thematic as all hell. You've got two master magic casters and illusionists with insane sword prowess and beautiful hair going at each other. No holds barred, with an absolute shit ton of overpowered abilities. This is an interesting clash with just how much you've got on both sides to cover. They also deal with really edgy, big-sworded protagonists. So yeah, that's pretty cool too. The magic is going to be, or the music is going to be a firm 10 out of 10. There's no question about that, especially if you go back to Aizen versus Madara and listen to Hollow Dreams. So yeah, this is going to be an amazing episode if it ever happens. I'm not quite sure who wins. I've heard different ends for both all over the fucking place. And I would say that I'd say Hacks would primarily be a draw, if only maybe Sephiroth gets the win there via Arsenal and a wider array of summons. But I don't know how the Hogyoku would interact with all that, so that could entirely change things. Let's see, I'd say Aizen probably has more raw skill. Whilst in terms of IQ, I'd also give it to Aizen. It's physical stats that's the problem. Because I don't know who to give it to. So, honestly, I'd say this one could swing either way depending on what you buy for both. Let's see what else. Oh, right, the banter. These two would be giving one-liner after one-liner. Like, take the one-liners from Ghost Rider vs. Spawn, give those an anime edge, and then make them smooth as silk, and you got this episode in a nutshell. Let's see, what else to cover? Yeah. I'd say if these two are going to return, this would probably be the best way to do it. I give this one a firm 9.5 out of 10. Doesn't have to happen. Both do have other options to return, but I'd say this is probably the best way to pull it off. Game Sonic vs. Barry Allen, the fastest thing alive and the fastest man alive from Sega, Sonic the Hedgehog, and DC Comics. This is the ultimate speedster duel, and one I'm surprised we haven't gotten yet. Because yes, we've had Wally West versus Archie Sonic, but I want the originals. I understand it's not everybody's favorite because it's quote-unquote a stomp, when honestly Sonic can put up much more of a fight than people give him credit for, and the pure music and banter potential would be out of this world. Way past Flash already proves the first point. But the banter here is kind of like the juxtaposed side to Wally versus Archie. Those two bounced off of each other with both having cocky attitudes and playful chicanery all day. Meanwhile, these two focus a bit more on the heroic side. They still got that playful cockiness to them, but it's not quite to the same degree. So I feel they would get along more on that front. Thus, I would say, this fight runs, well, okay, pun not intended, but I'd say this one runs better than Mario vs. Sonic 3. One, it's not really much of a repeat, because these two cover ground that Wally and Archie Sonic didn't. So, and given Death Battle's current state, the pure feel of speed in this fight would probably be through the absolute roof. And it doesn't have to rely solely on the cosmic shit. It can stay lower ground until, like, the very end or something. So, yeah. I would give this a firm 9 out of 10. I wouldn't give it quite a 10, though. Primarily because I would like Sonic to get other opponents. This just feels like the main one for me. And since Season 2, I've been wanting this fight because that was the season where Flash was introduced against Quicksilver. And that was a pretty good episode, so yeah, I'm giving this one a firm 9 out of 10. Would love to see it happen on the show someday. Alistair vs. Black Hat, Has-Been Hotel vs. Villainous, Amazon Prime vs. Cartoon Network Latin America. This fight runs on absolute vibes, I'm not even going to hold you. This is not a debate in any way, other than arguing that Alistair is smarter, has better raw skill, and is debatably more agile. Aside from that, Alistair loses. I'm not even going to argue about that. But everything else about this fight is amazing. The raw themes, the music, the banter, the choreography. This fight would be so creative. Like, it would be a mix of Bill versus Discord and Omni-Man versus Homelander, and possibly Mahito versus Shigaraki. Because you've got the gore, the body control, the pure banter, the humor, the great music, the reality warping chicanery, all of that. And this could be a great storytelling fight, too. Especially if you try to incorporate some more of those terrifying elements behind it, instead of relying on just the villainous slapstick. And, yeah, what else can I say? Oh, right. Black Hat's voice actor, Alan Turiel, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, said he'd be willing to voice Black Hat if he ever got onto the show. And I just find that amazing. And since Death Battle has worked with Amazon Prime before, I think they could probably get Amir Talai on for this episode as well. If not, they could just get Tomato Sauce as a bridge voice actor. But yeah, I would give this one... I'm giving this a 10. I'm not even going to stop. I'm giving this a 10. I'm sorry, I love this matchup to death. I understand it's not fair, and that can definitely be a deal breaker for some, and I get that. But this is the best part for me. I just love it so much. And, yeah. Yeah, it's a firm 10. It's staying that way. And with that, I hope you all enjoyed today's episode of Chaos ranting about fictional fisticuffs. Whew, this one was a lot of fun to make. Quite spur of the moment, though. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all on the next one. Have yourselves a wonderful day. See y'all later.